हेलो एंड वेलकम टू देसी फायर पॉडकास्ट। मैं आपका होस्ट रवि हांडा। टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट इज डिविडेंड इन्वेस्टिंग अ गुड idea if you are planning to retire early or you have retired early. Now, there are three broad areas or three broad types of people that we need to look at when it comes to dividend investing. Type 1, which is relying on their dividends for more than 50% of their post-retirement expenses, post-retirement income. There is a second category, which is somewhere from 5 to 50% is their reliance on the dividend income. And then there is a third category which does not really rely on dividend income, which is less than 5%. So you need to figure out which bracket do you belong to, or which bracket is good for you. For me, it's much lesser than 5%, and I believe that is the right approach to take, and that is the approach that I'm taking. Why? What is my argument in favor of it? That is what this particular video is about. And I hope by the end of it, you would maybe at least partially agree with me that dividend investing may be a great idea, may not be a great idea. It isn't really suited for people who have fired or who are planning to fire. So let's check it out. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our sponsors, PassCare. PassCare is a platform which allows you to give loads of benefits to your employees. You can get their accident insurance done, you can get their life insurance done, you can get their health insurance done. They also help you manage stuff like food vouchers, etc. So if you are a company which is trying to help your employees, please do check out PassCare. The link for PassCare is available in the description of this video. Now, coming to my main arguments against dividend, why you cannot rely on dividend investing. So I'll talk about the first class first, which is people who are say 75% of my post-retire income or even 100% of my post-retire income, I will believe on dividend investing. What are the problems with that? See, first of all, if you look at the historic yield of Nifty, it is extremely volatile and it is extremely small. Let me just show you. So this is from the website Trendline. I've looked at the Nifty 50 dividend yield and this is the chart. So as you can see, so this data is available to us from 2003. At that point of time, yes, dividend yield was high, but broadly speaking, if you look at anywhere from let's say 2005 onwards till today, the dividend yield has hovered between 1% and 2%. So on the lower side, this green line is essentially the dividend yield. It's around 1% number. And on the higher side, the green line barely crosses 2%. So the idea is that dividend yield for Nifty is range bound in 1% to 2%. So you might think that it's just 1%. But no, that makes a huge difference. For example, how much are you spending annually? Now, if you think about it in that terms, and then you think about that, okay, I'll spend 20 lakhs annually or 40 lakhs annually, there is a huge difference in that because it's just becoming double. 1% to 2% is double. If you do not have an stable stream of income in your retirement, if you cannot manage that, then it becomes very, very difficult. How will you maintain your day-to-day expenses? So it is not just that you need that amount, you also need it in a stable way. And that is why if you have, more than 75% or 50% reliant on dividend income, you will never be able to execute it because it will vary so much. That's my key argument against dividend investing for people who have, a very high reliant on it. That if you rely 75% on it and it varies so much, it won't work. The other argument which is made by some people who say that, okay, what we will do is we will not invest in Nifty, we will invest in high dividend yielding stocks. And so that I know that A, the amount is higher than 2%, that is one part of it. And B, it's a little more stable. Boss, if you're getting into the game of stock picking, that I will pick the best stocks, then I don't really think that I can tell you anything that will make you learn or improve because I'm not at that level. I'm lower than that. I do not believe in my capacity to pick stocks. And now you are saying that you will be able to pick not just stocks, you will be able to pick stocks with a special feature that, that they'll give out high dividend. This is a very complex problem. I cannot solve it. I cannot rely on it. People say that, no, I'll buy ITC and Coal India and the Reliant names. You cannot do that when you pick up a few stocks. The stocks are going to be volatile. Some of them will grow, some of them will fall. You are not really doing it as a 2-year or a 3-year thing. You are taking a 20-year view on it. You cannot do that. So relying on stocks, relying on high dividend yield for a huge chunk of your portfolio, that's just not advisable. Another thing is, because this return is 1% to 2%, do you realize how much money you would need? Even if you consider, say, 1.5% as the value of your dividend, you will need 70x the amount to meet your expenses. What I mean by that 70x figure is that suppose your annual expenses are 10 lakh rupees, you will need 7 crore rupees to fund that 10 lakhs. So that's a very huge amount. And then you rely on dividends. Not really a great idea to put so much in just one particular type of stocks. You will not have that sort of diversification. There can be a huge sequence of return risk. Basically, all the risks which are associated with investing directly in stocks are there. Do you want those risks? In early retirement, the answer should be no. The second category of people who believe that they'll rely from 5% to 50% of their post-retire income, they would rely on dividend investing. Again, I don't think that is a very good idea for exactly all the same reasons that we discussed. You need a very, very high amount to be able to execute this. Yes, I agree that would mean only half of your portfolio is here, or only 40% of your portfolio is in dividend stocks. But that is still a huge chunk that you would need in dividend stocks, which can vary a lot. You will have to time your entry, you will have to time your exit. The amount of dividend that you get isn't very reliable. So all those problems exist. And that is why I very sincerely believe that you should not rely for more than 5% of your income on dividends. Why even that 5%? To be really honest, if you ask in an ideal scenario, I would say that answer is 0%. I would want to be at 0% myself. But I'm not at 0%, and I believe a lot of people are never at 0% when it comes to dividend income, because they would have made some stock investment at some point of time in their life. Say, for example, my stock portfolio is very, very small. Bulk of my money lies in mutual funds and real estate and stuff like that. Direct stock investing is not something that I do. But still, I do have a little bit of an amount which is there in some stocks, like ITC being an example, ONGC being another example, IOC being another example, PFC being another example. So these are some stocks that I own. Why do I remember these names? Even though I have very, very small amounts in them, some of them even just some thousands of rupees. Because whenever their dividend hits my account, I feel happy. It feels like free money. What you need to understand is that it is not free money. It might feel like that because it comes to you as a surprise. You were not expecting, you just randomly got that money. If your mutual funds own these particular stocks, your NAV would be adjusted accordingly. So you will get benefits of the same thing, of all the dividends that are declared. So just simply getting an index fund, for example, and investing in that might be a much better idea than figuring out which dividend stocks to invest in and get these dividends. It's good enough as a random some small little amount that comes in because of your past investments. So I'm not saying that if you have a high dividend stock, you should sell it out or something like that. No, that's your decision. You are the one who invested in these stocks. So you know more than me about which stock to invest in and which stock not to invest in. So if you have taken that decision already, please take your independent decisions. But using dividend investment as a strategy that, okay, I will accumulate 50 times my expenses and I'll invest that in dividend stocks and then I would retire on that money, that doesn't really work. And that maybe there is some argument to be made that, okay, it has some scope or some merit in the US where there are ETFs which help you achieve that. But in India, with the sort of taxation that exists on dividends, yes. So earlier dividends were not taxable, but now dividends are taxable. So so whatever little advantage that existed, that also is no longer there. The best possible idea is to just Stay away from it. Hope you guys learned something from this video. Please do like this video and subscribe to our channel, and also check out our sponsors PassCare. The link is in the description section. Hope I have earned the privilege of your time. Thank you.